Jeff, welcome to the Hospitality Heroes. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Seb. I appreciate the invitation.
Yeah, my pleasure. So, for those who don't know who you are, just give us your elevator pitch, your quick kind of who you are, what you do.
Okay, so again, my name is Jeff Weaver. My company is My Quick Results Marketing. We specialize in helping mainly independent restaurants, 1 to 6 locations. We have a couple of different services. One is a local business collaboratives where we get businesses together where they put TVs in each other's businesses and promote each other all day, every day to everybody. And then I also have a set of mobile-based products that improve communication with your customers, lets them know you appreciate them, and gets you the opportunity to invite them back. That's us in a nutshell.
Awesome. So, would you say you're a restaurant? You help with sort of the technology of not so much the food service itself, but different things that restaurants can do to promote or get, loyalty, have a higher lifetime value per customer. Is that kind of fair to
Yeah,
a
that's correct.
summation?
Yeah. So I mean, the basis is we're a marketing firm, but we just focus on the little things at little prices. So we're not a $5,000 a month consultant. So
Maybe you could give me a few. I know we've discussed in the past, but for the listeners, like maybe three different apps, for lack of a better term, or tech solutions that you offer to restaurants and like the average price point.
okay. So the way I really got started was in 2017. I started this business because a friend of mine in Northern California called me one day and he said, I'm in a restaurant that has about 30 tables and I'm one of 2 tables. And he said, we got to help these people. And his idea was email marketing. And I said, well, why me? And he said, well, because you're the marketing guy. I said, okay, fair enough. Let me do some research. Well, I did the research and Get Response and Constant Contact did a study. And of course, they've got millions of customers. And they found that only 10 to 13% of restaurant related emails get opened. And then another study showed that only 2 to 3% of the people that follow your restaurant ever see your promotion. And I was like, well, this is kind of a big problem. And so I searched and I found the answer was in text marketing. And so we help restaurants develop, we like to call it a VIP diner program for them. And people opt in by text. And with that, then we do 2 texts a month. And just to let you asked about pricing, it's $95 a month that gets you 2 texts. And however many text messages you have, it's 5 cents a message. So it's extremely affordable. Now, I do have some people that do more than 2 a month. I have one guy that does 4 a month, and he just pays me an extra $25 each for the third and fourth. He's been with me since 2017 and has had great results. I had another guy that did kind of it was a fish deal in during Lent, and he's up in Detroit, Michigan. And he said, well, let's put it out. It's Thursday afternoon. He says, let's put it out for just today and tomorrow. I said, okay, let's run with it. He texted me at about 8 o'clock on Friday night and said, sorry, I couldn't respond sooner. We've been totally slammed. And he only had 700 people in the text database. So it's just amazing what kinds of results you can get there. So the text messaging is one of my platforms. As far as the mobile tech, one of the best ones is what we call a digital stamp or punch card. And with that, you could kind of look at it as the old, punch cards that, dry cleaners were really used all the time, or, you know, buy 7 meals, get your eighth at 50% off, or for every $20 you spend here, you get a stamp. And when you got 10 stamps, you get such and such. What we found is that this is just crushing the folks that are using points-based systems. The points-based systems work really good for big companies. Starbucks really started it, but there's 8 Starbucks within, anybody. So
Yeah, and not to interrupt, but yeah, exactly. Like I know Starbucks, just reading an article about this. Like this is something they're really known for. They kind of pioneered it. And now a lot of coffee shops, there are small chains that I've gone to that are, they have more than one, but I don't think they're not that big, not nearly as big as
yeah,
Starbucks. And they all did this kind of thing where, yeah, you get like 1 star when you get up to 10 or I think now it's like 20 or more or something. You get like one free coffee or something like that. So
right. So they're kind of doing a punch card. Yeah.
your punch card, yeah, maybe explain to the audience why you think that's or how that's beating the other method, the star method.
Okay, yeah. What we found is that for a single operator, somebody that owns a few, they're probably pretty well spread out. So to the consumer, they have to go to one place to get points and one place to redeem points. So they think they're never going to get enough points. But on the stamps, it's easier to see. I got to get 7 or I got to get 10, and they're right here on my phone. I can see which ones I've stamped and which ones I hasn't, and away you go. The other thing is that points programs require you to load an app on your phone. And let's face it, people are app fatigued and they're being very careful about it. I mean, they got hundreds on their phone. Our system is not an app. What ours does is when they sign up through a QR code that we promote at the restaurant or coffee shop, it gets loaded into their wallet. And so in their wallet, they have 6 or 8, 10 businesses, not 200. And so those are the main reasons. The other thing is that point systems, if you're getting a lot of points, like you go to Starbucks every day, it's okay. You're always feeling like you're getting rewarded. But if you don't have something where you go every day, it just kind of doesn't feel like it's really anything. I was
Mhm.
talking with a lady the other day. She says, yeah, I've got 6 or 8 restaurant points based systems in my phone, and I never pay attention to any of them. And I just don't care. And I said, so really, points based systems did not change your buying behavior. She said, no, absolutely not. But when I explained the points with the stamp card and the punch card, she was like, now if somebody's using that, I'd be paying attention because it's easy to understand, easy to see what I get. So
You
that's
think
why it's
maybe
winning with the small guys.
that makes sense? You think it's because it's more like tangible, like it's more, I don't know, visual or like I guess it just has that sense that, like it's gonna work, like I'm gonna get something. Like what it's interesting how human behavior works.
They can see the end. And with a point system, you kind of don't even know what you're going to get. I mean, if you're Wendy's, for instance, they've got a point system, but you can go on their app, which is very expensive app they have,
Hmm.
because they have all of the different things you can get with how many points you have to get them. The little guy can't do that. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars of programming. And, even guys like me can't do that. I wouldn't be able to sell enough to do it. But for the stamp based system, boom, boom, it's there. And yes, it's easy to see, easy to understand. And that's why it works.
Well, that makes sense. That's what consumers want. Something that's easy to use, easy to understand, a feeling like I will get something, not something kind of abstract that, might happen. We want results. We want them yesterday, or we want to feel like we're making progress. The dopamine hit, like
Yeah.
like the phone, social media gives us. I think it's so necessary to understand human behavior in that way for a marketing initiative. And sometimes a lot of the tech, we had our friend Todd Valsing on here before, and
Yeah.
sometimes when something's overly engineered, they accidentally put too many points of friction, just like when you're designing a website
Right.
to get to the action. So it sounds like your system is quite user-friendly and intuitive.
Yeah, and I think the one word you used, which I really liked, was they can see their progress. That's
Exactly.
excellent. I'm going to use that now. Thank you. How
Yeah,
much do
no,
I owe
no,
you?
it's all free. I know, KPIs, the key performance indicators. And so, what are some other, systems you have, or I don't know, bags of tricks, what are some
Yeah,
other
yeah. So
goodies?
we've got a mobile-based coupon program. We usually team that up with the stamp program so that people that have the stamp program can refer their friends. And when they do, and their friend goes in and buy, the coupon gives them $10 off or something, their friend goes in and buys, they both get a stamp. So you get a stamp for not even spending any money. And so people refer like crazy because I had to spend any money and I'm going to get something free. So, we've got that. We've also got the membership card, which Panera Bread made famous. And just to give you an idea how new all this stuff is, Panera Bread started that in 2020.
Hmm.
It's new.
Oh,
And they had approximately a 70% increase in their food sales with what they call their coffee sip club. In the start, it was $5.99 a month for a bottomless cup of coffee, not lattes, just plain old coffees. And they got a 70% increase in food sales. So that we were thinking about the psychology. I love the psychology of buyers. And what all I can figure out is they felt like they were getting something for free and felt guilty and thought, well, I didn't spend any money, so I'll buy a donut.
hmm.
And they just have done fantastic with it. In fact, I read an article that they published this year that 25% of their overall food revenue, or no, their overall revenue comes from members of their soft coffee sip club. And now they're charging $12.99 a month. So we've got that. And again, it's just loaded up on your phone and you go in and the manager scans your phone with his phone and everything updates and away you go.
I love that. It sounds almost like you're gamifying buyer psychology to the benefit of restaurants because it feels like you accomplish something. You get that star, you get that point, even if all you were doing was, buying a coffee.
Yeah, I like that you used the word gamification. I love that word because here's the thing: there's nothing fun about getting points, But when you make it all simple and easy to see, it becomes fun. So it is gamification, and so people are happy to come back because they find your place fun, you know. And so
Feels rewarding
we
to get
have also
rewarded.
yeah. So we have that. We've also got just a straight transactional discount, which works better for like the higher end white table kind of services, where they could say, as one of our preferred diners, when we scan this, when you eat with us, you're going to get 3% off. And when you've spent, $500 or something, you go to 5%. And then, goes up, but then it resets at the end of the year. That's just a straight transactional discount. And the higher end places like it because folks, psychology again, folks that are in the higher end, they're not necessarily in the games and fun, but like every human being, they like saving a little money and they feel appreciated. This is what it's really all about. It's all about appreciation. Do your diners know you appreciate it? And saying thank you when they pay, that doesn't cut it.
Yeah, and I think there's been ample case studies, like you mentioned with Panera Bread, with the coffee sip club, and in the world of e-commerce, subscriptions and memberships definitely is the way to go. Definitely helps you get more lifetime value. Obviously, uh, the most expensive thing is acquiring the customer. So obviously, businesses should do more to engender loyalty and increase the lifetime value. If another place, area of vulnerability I've noticed, a lot of restaurants is they're great at getting people in the door, rewarding the first time customer, and then they forget about the loyal customer. They think they don't have to do
Yeah,
anything
and
there.
that's where the money is, and it's easy to get it. It's less expensive to have somebody get somebody to come back than to get somebody new. And it's just, and yeah, they're not remarketing to the people who have already done business with them. Now, yes, good food, good atmosphere, fair price, all that stuff has to be in place. But what really is needed is that people are communicated in a way they like to be communicated with. and people like their vendors to communicate by text as long as they're not overdoing it. Like I said, two a month is not overdoing it. And then they want to feel appreciated, and they just come back and they tell their friends. That's why the coupon thing is so fun, because you could actually measure who's trying to refer you. And when they come in, you go, you've tried to refer us 10 times. You know what? We're going to give you 50% off today. I mean, how special would that guy feel? He'll go out and refer 10 more, you know?
Oh, no
So,
doubt. And a big part of I think hospitality and in person and what I hope makes a comeback is community. And I think they're usually part of the community. And if you get a way, you make it easier for your customers to evangelize you and refer you and bring their friends, their family, neighbors. I mean that makes you more of a staple in the community and guarantees a lot of steady business for the long term, which is so important because people have options. They don't have to go to you. They don't have to order from you. Even if they love you, they might not think of you in a given moment. But if you have something that makes them feel part of something, I think that and there's a direct benefit. I think people are going to think of you top of mind a lot more than the other guy down the street with just as good coffee or just as good food who isn't doing that.
well,
Um,
yeah. And, like here in Dallas, you don't have to eat a place a second time for 3 years. There's so many restaurants available. And that's what they're really competing against. So when somebody comes in, that's your chance. Don't blow it.
I love that. Where can, I mean, obviously that's just a taste of some of the amazing, solutions, low cost solutions that you offer that can help businesses drive loyalty, increase their lifetime value of their customers and their profits. Where can people go to find out more?
So they can go to my website at myquickresults.com. And I did mention that the text messaging was $95 a month and 5 cents per text. Everything else I mentioned, $50 a month each.
Wow.
I'm interested in helping thousands of restaurants, not a couple hundred.
High volume play.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I like that. And I'm just curious, like obviously you didn't develop the technology, but you're good at how did you, I guess, get into like finding all these solutions or bundling them and being able to offer, a good price? Like maybe you could just share a little bit, how the sausage is made there.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think a lot of it just comes down to, my values. I've been a solopreneur since college. I started two businesses in college, and I love the psychology of the transaction. And it's the little guys that I want to help because I'm one of them. And so, I'm not the big company coming to them to take thousands of dollars a month. I'm the little guy right here in their community or that's always in conversation with them. So when I told you how I got into the text messaging, and then about a year after that, I was thinking there's got to be more. And I looked into the point systems. And that's when I was seeing that almost everybody has one. Even POS systems have point systems built into them. But when I started interviewing little guys that were using it, they were like, I say, how many redemptions do you get a month? Oh, yeah, we get, 10 or 12 a month. How many people do you have in your program? Oh, about 1,000. Said, yes, it's working, but you should be getting 50 to 100 redemptions a month. And our programs help you do that at a really fair price. And then when I was doing that, then just last year I started working on this and just started marketing it. We call it the local business collaboratives, where we put TVs in businesses, restaurants, dentists, children's activity places, and then it rolls a set of advertisements for other businesses, and you can promote something yourself like an event or a new menu item or something, and that makes it very local and makes it very cooperative and community oriented. And so we just started that, and that's on my website as well. It's called Local Business Collaboratives.
Excellent. And I guess one question, some people with loyalty programs, some restaurants, I worked in one, they used to dread getting like a Groupon or I don't know, there was another one that was popular, Seamless. No, there was something else. It was, and scanning them, there were always issues, misunderstandings. How do you prevent that kind of thing with your solutions?
Okay. So since ours are all stored in their wallet, they just click on it, it pulls up a QR code, and then we can do like 3 to 5 managers can have well, this is an app, the redemption part on their phone where they just take a picture of the QR code and you're done. I recommend the restaurants, there's a good chance that somebody with the app on their phone might not be there one time, and you don't want to do that to a customer. So go get you a cheap smartphone. You almost don't even have to have service. It's just Wi-Fi because it's a computer-based thing. And so you just put that under the counter, and I tell them, get two because they're cheap, and now you got a backup. So yeah, that
Smart.
takes care of all of it. It's pretty simple.
Awesome. Simple and easy, little friction for the customer, more profits for the owners. Jeff, this was really informative and a pleasure. I'm going to make sure to put in the show notes your LinkedIn so people can connect with you, and your
Yes,
website,
I
Quick
like
Results
that. Yeah.
Marketing, myquickresults.com. They can go learn more. Thank you so much. And
Yeah,
have
thanks, Seb. I really appreciate it. It was good.